Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, this is where we want to think, we want to grow, and we want to contribute. And today we're going to talk about the one card that could potentially unlock the key to all of the world's treasures. With this card, you have access to more than 17,000 locations in the United States. You have 5.2 million programs that is offered. 65% of Americans said this card helped them grow as a person. And 66% of Americans says that if the services that this card provides were taken away, it would have a major impact on their community. Can you guess what card it is? If you guessed a library card, you guessed correct. And guess what? A library card is free. Free. That is, unless you think there's no such things as a free lunch, which is not a topic. And when I say unlock the key to all the world's treasures, what I mean by that is at any public library, you have access to a wealth of resources, you have wealth of wisdom, and a wealth of information from all of human history. The key is that you have to read. Now, reading a book can have tremendous benefits for you. The only caveat with reading a book is that you have to do all the work yourself. But the flip side of that is you reap all the benefits that could potentially come from reading a book. I did read some research sometime that only about 10% read past the first chapter. When it comes to reading, when it comes to unlocking this key to having access to all the world's resources, essentially, there's one thing you have to do. You have to read, like I mentioned, but in order to become a better reader, in order to become a more advanced reader, in order to grow as a reader, you have to read a book that actually challenges you. So you have to approach and read books that are beyond you, that make you stretch. And with that stretch, of course, you will obviously grow not only as a reader, but as a person. Reading a book can help you in several ways, but there are perhaps two main ways that reading a book can help you. Number one, it essentially just helps you become a better reader, a more skillful reader. Whether that is reading fast, reading analytically, or just being able to skimming through a book in terms of speed reading, it does help you become a better reader. Secondly, not only does reading a good book help you become a better reader, but it also can help you become a better person. You learn about life, you learn about human nature, you learn about human history, and you become more knowledgeable, you become more wise, and it can actually enhance your life. And as it enhances your life, hopefully you also will help to enhance other people's lives. According to the book titled How to Read a Book, they estimate that about 99% of all books do not challenge you as a reader. And they also estimate that 1 out of every 100, maybe 1 out of every 1,000 books not only teaches you to become a better reader, but also teaches you how to live. So in one way, you kind of have this level of books. At the lower level, you have those books that you read it one time, put on the shelf, and maybe some years later, some months later, you come back to that book and you're like, oh, this book was an interesting book. I feel like I learned some things about it. It was helpful. You read that book again, and then this time you realize it didn't do that much for me this time. And sometimes even that book can be a little bit disappointing. I don't know if you ever experienced this, that the book that you thought was so great before, and you read it again, and then you're like, oh, it's not that great. It's actually a little disappointing. This could be potentially an example where you have actually grown as a person. So it's not that the book has changed, but that you've changed and you've actually grown. There are also other books, these so-called great books. So you read this book and you're inspired, you are amazed, you're mesmerized, you put it on the bookshelf, and you come back to it. And this time you realize it seems like the book has grown with you. This book enhanced your life at one point. And as you read it again, it actually enhances your life again. And these are these wonderful, great books that never seem to run out of wisdom, never seem to run out of information and knowledge that you can use, that you can apply, and that just simply inspires you and helps you grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So I want to leave you with this parting thought, and that is, see if you can find that 1 or 2 or 3 books that you are so inspired by, that you are so amazed by, that you're convicted by, that cause you to be a higher person, and that when you put them on the shelf, and a year later or a couple years you take them up again, you realize the book has grown with you. They continue to enhance your life as you grow as a person, as you lift yourself, that you can share with other people, and that all these came from that little tiny free library card. And you can actually go and pick up these books for free. You don't have to pay for it. The taxpayers do that.